being squeezed by supermarkets, and as a result they have no choice but to cook them. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's Monday, the JF show, and it's time for us to talk food. Good food, with thanks to our good friend Chef Sham from the Cottage Restaurant in Jamestown, a beautiful, beautiful village just outside Carrick-on-Shannon in County Leitrim. Good morning to you.
Morning, Joe.
And welcome, and thank you for coming into studio. And today, you're going to share some of your trade secrets with us. We're talking about a dish that you do, that's on your menu in your restaurant, simply because people have been calling you, telling you to do just that.
Yes, absolutely. People are calling me and say to me, you talk a lot about different food and everything in Shannonside. Can you talk about something what you do in the cottage? I said, it's good to hear that. I mean, absolutely. This recipe here is basically what we do in the cottage, and a bigger seller. We try to take it off the menu a few times, cause war. And sometimes I just stir things a bit. You know, I say like, I might take the scallop off the menu. And everybody say, no, don't do that. So just to see the interest. So this is the recipe, basically, is a combination of what we do in the cottage with my culture and yet again, the Irish influence into it. Yeah. So a pansy scallop with a spinach boxty. Leitrim, and then we have a curried parsnip, yet again, nice earthy root vegetables, and lemongrass and chili bisque. Now we're going to talk about the dish in a moment, but it was interesting there to hear you say, right, this is a coming together of two different cultures from a gastronomical point of view, the boxty from Leitrim and the scallops and what have you. So I take it, obviously, that involves a lot of research and a lot of experimentation, because I take it when they invented beautiful boxty down in Leitrim, they didn't really have scallops. Yes.
In their minds, in their heads at that moment in time. So talk to me about that process of experimenting a little.
Yeah, I mean, we try everything in the cottage, and even East Midwest combination, and the surf and turf combination, we bring it together. I'm lucky I have a good team in the kitchen. I have Sheila, Ford, and I will do something like the sauce, the Asian way, and then I get the Sheila, the Irish mommy in the kitchen to taste it. Sheila, geez, that's too hot for the Irish palates. And I bring it back a little bit, and then give the Malaysian to taste it, and they say, right, that's perfect. So we do a lot of experiment, and we do a lot of research before we decide to go with one menu. A lot of work going to it.
Can I attend the next tasting session?
Joe.
Can I be there the next time you're experimenting, please?
Absolutely.
I can just imagine. So the tasters are there. What do you think of that?
Yeah, absolutely.
No, you need more of this or more of the other.
Absolutely, you have to listen to your team, because that's what it's all about, And some of them will know the Irish palate better. Some of them will say, you know what, this is maybe too bland.
Because we don't like hot in Ireland, do we? I mean, we like to go a little bit of the way, but we're not going to go all the way when it comes to hot and spicy, are we?
No. I mean, it's not going to burn your palate. There's one thing we don't do. Even if we use chili, we use subtly. We're not going to burn your palate. There's nothing worse when somebody tastes and that's lovely, but it's too hot for me. You don't want that, But the balance, the Thai influence, and the boxty and the fresh, beautiful scallop, Irish scallop into it. That's it. That's all what you want,
Because I always say, here in Ireland, we're big into curry, but the curry that we're into, it's not really curry at the end of the day, is it?
Not really.
I mean, if we were to get the real McCoy, we wouldn't be able to cope.
No. It's a lot of curries and a lot of spice have been modified to adapt to what Irish people want. But, a lot of Irish people come a long way, and they're valuable for us, And one stage before we do Asian dish in the restaurant, we say, what, we do it the Irish way. Now we just do the Malaysian way, or we do the Thai way, because people will expect that. Listen, we go to the cottage, we're going to get proper curry there. You can't do it what people want anymore. You just have to do what the real McCoy, and we tell them, now this is Malaysian curry, this is Thai curry, and there's proper heat in it. And some of them is like, great, I've been looking for it. Some of them say, can you tone it down a little bit? So you do listen to customer, you have to,
Okay, this is a beautiful, beautiful dish. And once again, the full recipe and the method used by Sham and his team at the cottage, all the details will be up on our social media platforms later this afternoon, Facebook, Twitter, that sort of thing. Just as regards the scallops, trying to get them, first of all, you're in, actually, once upon a time, people, I think, in this country had convinced themselves that it was a sort of a locked-in county, didn't have access to the sea. But there's a small little corner of County Leitrim that does have access to the Atlantic Ocean. But sourcing scallops, fresh scallops, is that a challenge?
It is a challenge, but not as much anymore because we have great, fantastic farmers market around the country. You know, they're brilliant. They're good. Like Fishmonger, always farmers market in Leitrim, Roscommon, Mayo, and all these areas have. They bring a good quality fresh fish that you haven't seen about 15, 20 years ago. You don't see many of them, you know. And you get that. Go into your fishmonger, say, look, I want 6 scallop or 12 scallop, and they will talk through you, and there's no smell like we talked about before. And it's good to get that. And the fishmonger is the person you talk to, same as the butcher with the meat, you know. So you talk to them, they will advise you what to do with it.
Are scallops expensive, Sham?
They are. I mean, in the farmer's market now, they're probably around €1.20 or €1 each. You know, so it's beautiful fish, though. You know, if you want to cook at home, do not overcook them.
I adore scallops.
Oh, I love it.
I adore scallops. But the thing is, you have to treat them carefully when it comes to cooking them and preparing them, because they can be destroyed in an instant, can't they?
Yeah, I mean, like, they could be rubbery. You know, if you overcook them, like I say, hot pan, a bit of oil into it. And make sure before you fry any scallop, always dry them up a little bit. You know, nothing worse than some of them wash the scallop and it's a bit wet. You don't want it to splash away on a frying pan. Hot non-stick pan, a bit of oil, dry up your scallop, and then season salt and pepper on the pan, 30 seconds or 40 seconds each side, and then throw a little bit of cube of butter into it. That's it. You know, just sprinkle a little bit of spoon over the scallop, and then beautiful.
So just to repeat, what we're looking at here is barely a minute.
Yeah.
And it's cooked.
It's cooked. It's cooked. Like the way if you want to describe that scallop with steak, it's like medium rare.
Okay.
You know, because, you know, fresh fish, you can eat it raw, you can eat slice of scallop with it raw. Some people don't like it, but sear it off, nice caramelization, both sides of it, a bit of butter into it. That's it. Bring it out off the pan, you know, just let it rest and serve.
But the challenge is to cook it to the right texture, but at the same time, it must have a crispy texture.
Oh, yeah, you need that. There's nothing worse if you don't have the crispy both sides, because it's like stewing the scallop. You know? And that's where it starts to overcook. You wait for it. Hot pan, oil into it, and just sear it. Oh, it's amazing. Oh, that's what you want when you bite into it, the juiciness from the scallop and the texture, both sides of it.
I was in company over the weekend, and we were talking about a character who shall remain nameless, who loves his steak. And when he sits down, the waiter or waitress will come over and he will order. You know his order. It's always going to be a nice sirloin steak. But he always says, "No, I want you to burn it." I mean, burn it. And then recently he was in a restaurant and the waitress was walking away and he called her back and he said, "Burnt." B-U-R-N-T. And it's such a shame, really, in that people don't realise what you're doing, quite literally, is destroying the meat.
Absolutely. I mean, like, that's why with scallop, if you overcook them, you know, some might put people off because, you know, the taste is getting stronger as well. It's that rubbery, and it's not nice. You want that succulent, you know, beautiful flavour like that, and crispy both sides, you know.
All right. So this is a dish that is renowned and much loved on Sham's Cottage Restaurant menu. Pan-seared Irish scallops with spinach boxty, curried parsnip puree, lemongrass and chili prawn bisque. This is an amazing dish for a very, very special occasion. By the way, I mentioned the recipe, etc., is now, or will be later on, available on our social media platforms. And so many of you are doing this. If you want to send a stamped addressed envelope to us here, the JF show, Shannonside, Northern Sound in Longford, Roscommon, Cavan or Monaghan, you can do just that, and we will send you back a copy of the recipe and the method by return post. Now, very quickly, a few questions in from our listeners. Joe, I will have a lorry load of apples in my orchard this year. I've done all I can do with apple tarts, strudels and crumbles. Can Sham recommend something different?
Absolutely. We have a lot of scallop, a lot of apple. Usually what I do is, like, after using all that for the tart or crumble, I always make chutney.
Wow.
Amazing chutney. Pear and apple chutney, you know, make a lot of chutney.
Not too difficult to make.
No, and you know, it's stored for forever. You know, you can serve with your cheese board. You know, it's amazing. You have a pear and apple, you put star anise and sugar and cinnamon into it. A lot of them in the jar, or you can thin slice the apple and put in the tray and sprinkle a bit of icing sugar and just do like a apple crisp. as a garnish with your apple crumble or something. There's so many ways to do it, and the chutney is the best one because it lasts forever.
I was going to say, once it's in a jar, stored properly, it will last forever.
Absolutely.
I know I have an ice cream question, but they're telling me I'm out of time. But very quickly, we will get back, listener, to your ice cream question next time Sham joins us in studio. But a listener called us in last week to say, Joe, what is the best way to store free-range eggs? I've just been given 30, lucky you, caller, wow. 30 free-range eggs by my they came from this person's next-door neighbour. How would you store them, Sham?
I mean, I don't usually put in the fridge. I put in a room temperature, And then if you, traditionally in Malaysia, my grandmother would pickle them. There's something different for you here.
Yeah.
When it's like we have a brine, salt, water into it, cool it down, put the eggs into it for 20 days, and you can boil. You got the salted eggs as well. If you want to use it into ice cream, take the egg yolks, make the ice cream out of it.
Yeah.
And then the egg white, you can make meringue out of it. So you can use it up as well.
Yeah.
Or just invite the family, have a big Friday in the morning, you use up the 30 eggs.
Absolutely. Or again, a bit like the chutney, I was just thinking there that it's hard to beat homemade mayonnaise. I know it takes a while, but the fact that they're free range eggs, they would be perfect for a homemade mayonnaise. But delighted to hear you say keep them out of the fridge.
Absolutely.
People will be in shock once again to hear us say that, but eggs in a raw state, never should they go into the fridge.
Never.
Flavour and everything will be compromised as a result.
Harder to cook as well. You take out the fridge, you have to bring it back to the room temperature again. No, it shouldn't be. No, I use hollandaise sauce as well.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah,
absolutely beautiful. Chef Sham from the Cottage Restaurant will be back with us in 2 weeks' time, ladies and gentlemen. And remember, the recipe we're talking about today, it's beautiful pan-seared Irish scallops, and you can get them. Just go to your local fishmonger with spinach boxty, a nice local twist to it, curried parsnip puree, lemongrass, and chili prawn bisque.
On the picture, I put a bit of black pudding to
just to top it off. Oh, chipperson. Now you're talking, Sham. A little bit of black pudding. Wonderful stuff. Thank you indeed for being with us today. Chef Sham, and Sham will be back with us in 2 weeks' time.